Hello, everybody. Welcome. Episode number 35, a special QA edition. Welcome to Cardboard and Cold Ones, everyone. Sammy Thunder.
Yes. Sorry, I'm a little late. So that was on me. My bad.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I guess, I always forget. I feel like I never mentioned our little slogan, but cheers to, what was it? Cheers. We raise our glasses. Cheers to the legend. Oh, damn it. I keep messing up. Here's to we raise our glasses and cheers to the legends we admire on the cardboard we collect.
Fantastic. So how you been, brother? I missed last week. I was on the attempt to make millions and fail.
All right. So I have to know. Do you know what place you finished?
No. Because I didn't make it to day 2, it doesn't even post. But when I got knocked out, there were 5,000 entries in my day 1, and there were 2,000 people left. So I
3,000 people. You survived 3,000. So
right.
You got more than halfway.
Yeah, and I can honestly tell you, I don't want to bore everybody here with poker lingo. It was like 100% my fault. So I'd rather like get unlucky than have it be your own fault, because you know when you've messed up in the game if you've played it long enough, and I clearly messed up. So.
No, you told me. You explained what happened. I'm like, I know it sucks when you lose on the button.
Right. And I just got hyper aggressive and the guy, there's no way he's gonna hit the card that I thought he hit. Not only did he hit it, he had me beat before we even saw a flop. So that was the worst part. So
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll do a roll call in the comments to check in with everybody that's here. So we'll talk a little bit about last week, as you mentioned, because the first comment is Lenny from Cardcast. So good to see Lenny's here.
Lenny's the best.
Yeah, Lenny's awesome.
There's Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce is here. Ruben is here. Scott is here. Yeah, hot summer evening, kidding. Melissa is here. Sven is here. Jay Hawker is here.
I have a quick story about him because we're doing Q&A. We'll talk about it after roll call.
Sure. Phil Negro fan. Eric is here. Yank Me Card Collection. Doc Van Hoot. Howdy all the way from Tucson.
Wow.
Dry Heat.
That's a new one, right?
Dry Heat. I feel like Doc Van Hoot. I just recognize that name for whatever reason. J Average Vintage Collector is here. Jeremy Heyman is here. Dave is asking, did you play with any big poker pros?
I sat near a bunch of them. I've played with a few in the past, and we can go over that once you're done roll call.
Yeah. Mike, the Sports History Collector, is here. Hammer 44 is here. Scott Yee, hello. Triple V, feels like a roll call. Hand is up. Yes, sir. Yank Me, awesome. That was the first thought, too. And, of course, couldn't say Mitchell. Mitchell's the last name of the roll call for now. So what's the story you have about Mike?
So Mike has an awesome collection, fantastic collection. And since he's in here and it's early enough, Mike, I think you texted me when I was in Lawrence at my daughter's graduation. Text me again. I reached out to our good friend, Mr. Chris from Missouri, and I said, get me Mike's number because I couldn't find that text. And Chris is like, I'm still waiting for the carrier pigeon to get to you to get your number. So I was trying to get a hold of you yesterday, but if you get the chance. But Mike's got a fantastic collection. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, please do. Jay Hawker Vintage Cards. He's been showing a lot of oversized stuff, and we were on a chat or something of that nature. And I had mentioned I lost out on a card, and Mike said, "Oh, it wasn't a Butterfingers, was it?" I'm like, "No, it wasn't." And like 2 or 3 days later, I think, or a week later, whenever it came in, he showed his Butterfingers Jimmy Fox, which was awesome. I was eyeing that card up. But I did have a card in my want list, and this is my fault 100%. I had it in my watch list for like 3 months, and no one was biting on it. And I'm like, I need to pull the trigger on this, right? I was just being lazy, and I'm, checking. Maybe he'll drop the price. And I don't even think Mike knows this. I think he put it up on Instagram, and it was the card that I was looking at for like 3 months. It's a 1937 Joe DiMaggio panel, a Series 6 panel. So Mike, if you just got that one, I did have an eye on and lost out to you, but it was my fault completely. So I should have pulled the trigger a month and a half ago, but I saw it. I'm like, I think that's the one. So
absolutely wild.
Yeah, that's just me kind of.
You're becoming an expert in a lot of these like 20s and 30s oversized cards.
No, the expert. We all know who we all know who the expert is.
Who's it? Who is it? Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron's the expert. He's the one who's just inspired.
Well, your buddy Joe's also.
Joe is extremely knowledgeable. They're the two that, like I said, I met them 2 years ago at Strongsville, both of them, and Aaron didn't have a channel, and Joe and Aaron came up to me and said, "We watch you." And at that time, I think I had maybe 80 subscribers, and I'm like, "Awesome, right. Let's hang out." So I'm like, "Let's be friends." So.
Yeah, Mike is saying,
it was,
and he's like, but it's kind of your fault.
It was 100% my fault.
Yeah.
Not only did I tip you off on it, I didn't buy it. There's another one up there, but it's $100 more, and I think Mike's is in better shape. So now I refuse to buy it until I find one as nice.
That's crazy. So, yeah, I guess we're. Oh man, what is it? So today is June 5th.
Yes.
So we're about just a little less than 2 months away from the national.
Yeah, shoot, man.
It's kind of hard for me to think about it now because I'm back down to near zero. So, but
you'll build it up.
No, I have a show coming up Saturday at Fishkill, which great. It's good timing. Keith, Lonely Basement Cards. Hopefully he'll show up before he starts his shift. He typically does on that Saturday, so we'll see. But I guess you know what I want to kind of open it up to the chat. I mean, this is a Q&A edition, so.
Should I answer Dave's question? Did I play with any poker play? He asked, and I told him.
Yeah, you kind of gave us an answer like you have, but you want to mention any names?
Yeah, so I sat at a table for 4 hours with Greg Raymer, Fossil Man. I think he won the 05 World Series of Poker. I beat him in a hand, small hand. I played with some of the younger players, not that young anymore. Matt Berkey is a professional, had a podcast. Mm-hmm. There was a couple local players here from Chicago who have won WPT events that you wouldn't even know who they are, but I played with them.
Okay.
And I sat at the table with Doyle Brunson.
That's sweet. Yeah. Texas Dolly.
Yeah, but it was kind of a charity event. So he was coming in. It's a long story, but I won my way in. The winner of the final table, and Doyle was at the final table, was going to win a seat to the $10,000 World Series Poker main event.
That's cool.
And he was the first one out because it was promoting a new casino. So I mean, it was all.
He was very loose and just.
It was PR because I even said to the poker manager, I'm like, "What happens if he wins?" Just as a joke, and he's like, "He's not going to win." I'm like, "That's what I thought." So. But I finished third in that, and that was several years. So I was 2 away from winning a seat. So that was rough. But yes, I played with them, and then a bunch of the younger pros now. Like there are so many you don't even know who they are. Right. You find out after the fact. But I sat down with some pros this year as well. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So we got some more people coming in. So I just wanted to check in. Orlando is here. Jacob T. O'Donnell is here. What is this national thing I keep hearing about? Maybe I'll consider going. Right. I can't imagine. It's a far distance for him.
It's literally like 15 minutes from him. Yeah. He's closer than I am.
Warren is challenging you.
Warren. Well, let's get it on, baby. We'll go heads up.
Completely rock him.
We'll go heads up, Warren.
Oh man. Make sure you give Warren enough beer so his so his decision making goes down considerably.
No, like I actually don't like playing drunk people because you can't read them. They're very inconsistent because it's just they don't know. They don't care.
True.
So
that is true. Yeah, because I guess their inhibitions go down and their tells go away.
Yes, I mean you don't know what you're getting.
Like a touch of the nose or an ear.
right. One of these.
Holding their chin a certain way. Let's see. Any idea what night the YouTube get together? I have no idea. I don't know.
It's typically Thursday. I believe it's Thursday night. I'm not 100% certain, but I'll say I'm 90% certain it's Thursday.
Gotcha. Let's see. Keith is you might miss Fishkill this week. That's blasphemy. No, Keith is awesome. He comes to the table, and when the show is really slow, Keith will come by and just chat for about 20, 30 minutes about Thurman won some cards that he missed out on. Well, that's not, no, that's not it. But he'll come by, we'll chat, and I don't know. Like the last time, I don't think he bought anything at the show. Maybe he did last month. He can mention it in the chat if he did or didn't.
Keith's the best.
Yeah, Keith is awesome. Yeah, Keith is cool, man. Warren only plays strip poker, so
I'm not doing that.
So Eric's got a question for you. He goes, Jason, what's your favorite hand?
That's very simple, Eric. When it comes to math, it's ace. Mathematically speaking, I don't play favorite hands. I play math.
Do you know what Doral Brunson's favorite hand is?
10 deuce offsuit.
Yeah, you know.
Actually, 10 deuce suited. I think it's suited. I can't remember if it's offsuit or suited.
Mitchell says that everyone's going to your house for the hangout.
Sure, I'll just kick the wife out. We can have him. We can take it over. I'm good with that.
It sounds like Friday night is Ash's dinner.
Yes, that is correct. Friday night is Ash's dinner. I know there was a text going out, and Greg sent the text because Greg kind of deals with Ash on this, and had told us, hey, if I forgot anybody, add it. So I was sending. I think we're in a big one. I added it to that. I added it to a couple smaller ones. I tried to remember everyone. I don't know if I did tell Mitchell. Actually, there was another one that I'm in with Mitchell, and I even told those guys too. So.
Yeah. Perfect. Let's see. John says nothing worse than trying to play poker against someone who has no idea what the strength of or weakness of their hand is.
John knows. I played with him. I played with him last year at the frat house. He knows what he's doing.
John is an engineer, mathematician. I feel like that's like it's like just goes together.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand. No, exactly. So, yeah, I guess we're just leaving this open to any questions you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I know we mentioned
episode 35.
We could talk some of the topics just to bring up. I had mentioned national. We could talk that more, but the one thing that I wanted to kind of just chat about, because lately for you and I, it's been kind of clear cut, is the current direction of your collection. You've made quite a turn. I have, in a different manner, and it's just funny that it kind of happened pretty close to each other at the same time. So, I figured you can explain a little bit what you're doing, and it's happening even more from some of the most recent things going on.
Yeah, I got 2 massive pickups coming in, and I have to start selling. No choice. 2 big pickups. One pickup should be coming in Saturday, but I anticipate that it's probably going to come in Monday, knowing how the USPS works.
Right.
And then the other one is being shipped out tomorrow. Not like, there's no big surprises. One is a Willie Mays piece and one is a Mathewson piece. I mean, you got a 25% chance of being right. So it's really not much. But I think it was, it's funny because was it Aaron? I think it was Aaron. We were texting back and forth, and Aaron was saying that he's on a quest to try to, connect all these players that I collect. He wants me to create like a path of players. So I start with Mathewson.
Oh, like 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon kind of deal?
I guess, yeah. So he wants me to start with Mathewson, and then he's like, listen, you got to make a choice, either Mel Ott or Carl Hubble, because they're both giants. So he's like, buy a card from them so you can kind of create a path and have a card from a player that played in the 20s and 30s.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you should say that. I didn't even know that you guys were talking about that. We're kind of getting back on track to be a little more regular with our Mount Rushmore episode.
Right.
And I'm like, we need to get Sammy on. And he's like, I said, what are we gonna what's the topic though? Like,
yeah, I don't know where I could contribute.
Right. We're like, what do we? But there's a spin. There's always a spin. It's infinite. So we got to figure that out and then get you on and just put a spin on it.
I mean, you can do the Mount Rushmore of I'll pick. What I can do is I can pick my favorite Mathewson, Seaver, Ryan. Oh, I only have one Ryan card left, but but you get what I'm saying.
Yes, or we could do like your, you could be as broad as your favorite best looking cards, your 4 favorites of all time.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Because we just did one of the ugly cards a couple of weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. So I took a jab at Chris from Missouri. I don't even think he's watched the video yet. I told him, I'm like, I made fun of you, and you didn't even fire back, so that means you didn't watch it.
Yeah. So it looks like Aaron's on board with that. Well, I'll get to Mike's comment in a second. 4 favorite cards. I
Yeah,
like that.
there
I
you
like
go.
that. Yeah, I mean, no rush. You got. I mean, you guys are going to keep doing this, so whenever.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Whenever you guys run out of stooges.
yeah.
But no, that's yeah, that sounds fun. Let's see. Other than the DiMaggio Wheaties that I snagged, what is your biggest regret of a card or item you didn't purchase? Same question. So I guess we'll start with you because that's directed towards you first, and then I'll answer after.
Well, the DiMaggio was a pretty big one. I mean, it wasn't a big card. It's a recent one. I'm trying to think of something that I missed out on. I did miss out, and I was the underbidder, but I got sniped, and I don't know what the top bidder. The top bidder could have been $200 higher than my highest bid, so I don't know that I missed it by that much. It was simply that I was sniped. But I was on the hunt, looking at an M101-2, Johnny Evers the Tinker.
Oh, nice.
And there's one online right now for like $700, and I was sitting at like 250 and in the lead the whole time, and then I kept bumping it, and then I got sniped at the last minute. But I think it ended up going, maybe it went for about 250 or 280. I'm not certain, but I kind of regret that one. There's been a few. It's like poker. You remember your bad hands. Same with cards. You remember all the ones that you missed out on.
That's always how it works.
Yeah. But those are the two off the top of my head that I can think of quickly.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't think of that situation. I can't say it now because I have the card now, or I have the same card in a different grade. I'll show it because I have it now, and I'll attach the story to it because why not, right? The Seaver, the 7290 Seaver. So where this comes into play, this was a White Plains show. It was this year. It might have been the one in January, perhaps. I'm trying to remember exactly. There was one in December and one in January. Can't remember which one it was. But nevertheless, prior to the show happening, there was a Venezuelan Seaver that a guy had that I think was in a grade of a 2.5, which is the highest possible. And he wanted like $4,000 for it. And so it's a tough card to comp because or a tough thing to comp because
right.
There's not many of them out there. But I was messaging with the guy on Facebook because he's a presence on Facebook, and I think he ultimately was going to ask for more, but I don't think he was going to move off his price. So I just said, forget it. This was like Thursday, and I was going to the show Saturday. I didn't realize that the guy who I was speaking to also was going to be at the show. I guess he's a native New Yorker as well. And so I was walking around the show on that Saturday, and I found another Super Seaver collector like myself. And I was showing him because I was submitting my do I have it with me? Yeah. I was submitting my 68 Bazooka.
Right.
So I submitted that to SGC, and I was showing it to him and he was like, "Oh, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?" I was super excited. And he was like, "You're not selling that, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to be submitting it." So long story short was the Super Seaver collector found me again later in the show and showed me that he picked up the 2.5 Seaver Venny. And I was like, "Oh my God. Like you picked up," I didn't realize that dealer was here. I was like, "Oh, I would have, He told me what he paid for it, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's way different than what was offered." And so he told me that his buddy, who was a dealer at the show, kind of helped smooth that transaction over.
Sure.
And I remember walking out with Mookie, and I'm like just muttering under my breath, I'm like, "Oh, I would have paid that." so there's that. But as far as the price he paid, I would have paid that. But thinking like to myself, there's only like 6 or 7 in existence. There's no way I'm going to be able to get find this card. And lo and behold,
right. That's
I found it on eBay, and I was able to message the guy, and he had an Instagram page, and we went back and forth. And with Mookie's help, Mookie was able to. He was like play-by-play commentary. He kind of supported me and helped me come up with a number for this, and lo and behold, I have it. But I will say at the time, I was in regret for not realizing that was that the price that this guy paid was in play. So,
right. There was another one that I missed out on last year when Rick Vintage Oddball Cards was selling cards. He did a video and he put a
Yeah,
ton
of course. I remember that.
Yeah, he put a couple videos out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just late to the party. I was working or busy or whatever. And I messaged him like 2 weeks later. It was the 1932 Bulgaria, Babe Ruth with Max Schmeling, the boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So that was going to be my first Ruth playing day. So that's how long I've been thinking about one. And I texted him, and he's like, "No, I already sold it." And then we get to the National, and on day one, I walk in, and the first person I see is Rocket Rick. And I sit down with him. We're sitting at a table talking, and he's like, "Yep, I picked this up from Rick."
Oh,
Rick.
no.
And I'm like, "Dang!" And I know what he paid for it, and it was a great deal. And I'm like, I told Rocket Rick, I'm like, "You beat me out on it by about a week and a half, probably." But again, my fault because I was too slow on it. So most of them are my fault.
Man, you got a great Babe Ruth card now. So
yeah, I'm pretty pleased.
Is that you got that back, or is it still?
Yeah, I have it. Hang on, let me see if I got it. We'll be unprofessional. I'll look around because I didn't bring any cards.
Well, I gotta grab another beer anyway. So pause for these brief messages.
Right.
Not that we have any. I'll be back with it. Okay.
Shoot, I gotta dig through my bin.
Oh, that's so good,
I almost want to pan on my room and show everybody what a mess it is right now, but hopefully this weekend that'll change. So.
Well, I will say while we're waiting, this live stream is not brought to you by Zadie's Lager Beer. I keep asking them to be a sponsor of the channel. So all I'm asking for is just like a 12 or 24 pack a month. Just that. I'm not asking for money. I just want beer. So Zadie's in Baltimore, if you end up watching this somehow, please consider that I would love to have your lager beer every month for these Cardboard and Cold Ones live streams.
I just want PBN. I want Pabst Blue Ribbon to sponsor me.
Perfect, man. I think we could swing this. I feel like we'll definitely get more. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so there.
That is a beauty.
Yeah, and
centering on it. I mean, it's just listen.
It's
man,
a great card.
we could speak about registration, centering all day. It's just a beautiful card. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased. And there's I picked up. I did a video while I was in Vegas, and I picked this up for $30.
I saw that, the Monty Irvin, right?
Yeah, Monty Irvin autograph again.
Where'd you find that? At a shop? You went to a shop?
Yeah, so there's an autograph. There's like several autograph stores in the Caesars Mall. There's one in the Planet Hollywood Mall.
Right.
And we were walking to lunch, and I'm like, I always have to stop in. It was, he had a 50% off box, and he had it marked at $60. So I got it for $30.
The Monty Irvin autograph.
The Monty Irvin autograph.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So how do you go wrong? And then there was something. I'm still going to do a video on it, but everyone who's on who didn't watch Mount Rushmore yet, this is my latest pickup. So it's the National Chickle 1936, like the Jimmy Fox and the Dizzy Dean that I have.
Right.
This is the Boston Red Sox team photo with Lefty Grove and Joe Cronin.
That's sick.
So it's a cheap way to add a Lefty Grove. This cost me $28. So
you're the National Chickle guy. That's going to be you, man.
Yeah, well, again, I think Aaron's probably got about 30 of them, and I have 3. So,
well, listen, man, you got to 10x it then.
Right, exactly. I'll 10x the Wheaties boxes. I like those a lot. They're fun. So.
All right, so I think we answered Mike's question about regrets. So let's just trying to catch up with the chat here. Steven's saying I've been on fire. Thank you. Just been. I have a focus. I'm sticking to it. I'm trying. Apparently, Aaron is trying to be a bad influence and trying to get me to buy stuff like a Mel Ott or a Carl Hubble, which I guess, if there's an inexpensive card that's out there of them, then I'll do it. And I guess it has to be a playing days. I can't buy a non-playing days card.
There are some that would, I felt that way forever, but like the Retorados, are good
Oh
non-playing
my
days.
god, but they're so tough to find.
Yeah, the Montiel, the Propagandas Montiel.
Montiel. Yeah,
You
sure.
know, like I think the Jimmy Fox is they're 46, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And I
that's
think
gonna
they're
be
46, and I think Jimmy Fox is
Yeah.
like 45, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, but they're expensive, man. They're super pricey. Let's see. I've got Ruth playing days for sale, Jason. Jake wants to sell you stuff.
what is it, Jake?
Yeah, you guys got to talk, man. You guys got to make this
The
happen.
Gaudi, that's out of my league. Gaudis are too expensive.
Jake says today's commercial break brought to you by Chris, Missouri. Come to Strongsville. It's the best.
Oh, look at that! There is the mayor's here.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still like catching up with comments and everything. So
Well, I will tell the
I see
mayor.
him now. He goes,
I
Warren, the
don't
mayor.
need Mike's phone number anymore. His pigeon carrier was faster than yours, Mayor. So I already got it. It came through via Instagram. I saw it while I was on this chat.
Love the pigeon carrier. Oh man, let's see. This break is sponsored by Red Heart. I don't have a Red Heart. Do you?
I got my first one.
The Nelly Fox, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's such a sweet card.
yeah. Great card. I'm going to get a few
Yeah.
more. I'd love to have the Mantle someday, but we'll see.
Let's see. What's up, Let's see. Good to have you here, man. They're just going back and forth a little bit. Oh, so Jake says W551 Babe Ruth strip card. I do payment plans for friends.
I'm actually one of the few guys who doesn't mind strip cards. I kind of dig them.
Mhm.
You know, I think they're kind of cool. So.
And Dan just mentioned that he bought a Jimmy Fox Wheaties on eBay yesterday.
The 35, Dan?
Mm.
Because I'm checking mine right now. I got a day. I just bid up again. I got bid up, so I just put a bid on it as we're sitting here. So
Warren says he has 3 Red Hearts. So I guess
Oh.
he's ahead of you by 2.
All right, I'm gonna go buy some Red Hearts right now.
I you know what? I tried. Oh, I should have sent this to the Slab Pack group, but I saw not Richie Allen. What's his name? Oh God, Richie Ashburn.
Yes,
I saw Richie Ashburn Red Heart at the Cape May antique shop that I was at. I posted it.
I saw it in your video.
Yeah, and also posted in the Discord group, and Jake is sending both of us texts. So
I know. I see it right now.
Jake, come on, man. Like, listen, business happens after the live stream, not during the live stream.
I'm looking right at it. It's a beautiful example.
Man, oh man.
Oh, is he selling it because it's actually graded? otherwise he'd keep it.
I think he doesn't have the heart to crack it.
Right.
I don't blame him. I think a lot of people would get on him for that.
His collection, I
Let me
wouldn't.
see.
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, that is a beauty, actually.
Yeah, it's nice.
Let me see if I can bring that up. All right, let me first save it on my desktop, and I'll do my best to bring this in. I gotta do some maneuvering here real fast. But it's a great looking card.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
We'll talk going right up. Jake, Jake's going to the national, right? With you? You guys always kind of.
No, Jake's not going, man. I wish he was.
Oh.
I really wish he was, but he's not going.
A lot of people aren't going this year.
Yeah, Dom's not going. I don't think Drew is going. Vintage Legacy.
No, he's not. I asked Drew.
Those were the guys, man. Those were the guys
Yeah.
I stayed with last year. That was. That's where the term hobby hero comes from.
Right.
Because I saved Jake's card. You know the story?
That was the tire story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was starting to rain, and Jake has a pickup truck, and so I think it was starting to rain, and so we were literally on sort of like not the highway, but like a parkway. Remember in Cleveland, there was that exit ramp, and that ramp was always backed up and going into the show.
Yep.
And so it was like not really moving, but sort of moving, and so Jake had like one of those 3,500 count boxes or something, or I don't know if it was more than that, but it was like a lot of cards. And so he had it in the back of his truck, and they started. And I was like, "Oh no, we gotta get it!" So I literally jump out of the car and like reach over and grab onto them, and I put him in the back seat. And
So you're like Superman. There's the hobby hero.
that's where, yeah, man, it came from that. And I'm sure Jake, yeah, like I can't this year with 2 babies.
I think a lot of. Oh yeah, that's right. What am I thinking? Yes.
He's got his second kiddo. So, hopefully, You know, they're talking about in what 2028 the National being either in Detroit or potentially in Atlanta. Which, if it's in Atlanta, that's like prime spot for Jake and Drew.
Right. That's like friggin' walking distance, right?
Jake could just roll out of bed and he's at the
Right.
National. Definitely for
Yeah.
Drew though, because Drew I think he's in Georgia.
Right. I think we're so the next 3 years are here.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that too. And I'm gonna be real honest with everybody. And I see a lot of people, Pastor Craig's not gonna be there. I'm bummed about that. Like a lot of our friends aren't gonna be there. But I will say this: if you had to, and I've said this before, if you gave me the option, I could only go to one. It would be Strongsville over the National. It really would be.
Yeah, it's a little more tame and it's easier to navigate, as we both know. And now they have a Sheetz, which is right across the street, which is like the best.
Yeah, bunch of morons eating at a gas station.
Listen, I'm not. That was my first time experiencing Sheetz, and it was pretty good. Don't worry about your dogs barking, man. No.
Yeah, they just see me. I'm muting it in. Someone just rang my doorbell. I have no idea who's ringing our doorbell. So.
35. Oh, so Dan was saying he's got going back to the 35 portrait.
35 portrait. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. Oh, yeah. Dan, text me what you paid for it if you don't mind, because then I'm gonna stop bidding if I'm going too high. I also know there was a dealer at Strongsville who we're all familiar with who had it. So if he still had it, that's another option. That's what I was basing my pricing off of.
So History Through Cards shortcut. I'm dying to go to the National and getting together with fellow collectors. I can always snag a card. I can't always be with like-minded collectors. Yeah, it's like pretty much it's like a padded room with people just walking into each other.
Yeah,
well, not the National, but Strongsville, yes.
Yeah, I think the National is it's harder to be personal. Obviously Strongsville are smaller. It's not a big. Strongsville is not a big show. I always tell everybody that, right. But it's the atmosphere. I mean, we did Cardboard and Cold ones live from the bar, and you can see in the background 30 other content creators, and we're all having a blast together. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it's tougher to do that at the National. So
yeah,
your Roman kind of groups, like we're all friends, but you click into people. Like Aaron's my buddy. He's my I consider him a close friend. So. But he's only going for one day, I think, and if he's even going. But Joe will be there.
Wait, so Aaron's only going for one day?
He might only be one day if he's even going. He's not certain yet. So.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, that's rough. But he's coming from out by you guys. Everyone still thinks he's a Chicago guy. He's not. So,
Chris, you can't say he gave me the sheet. I appreciate the creativity, but Ruben has you by about 3 months because he came up with that first while at Strongsville. Gave me the sheets. Oh man. Straight Race Cards. Good to see you, buddy. We need to have you on at some time.
When he first jumped on, I reached out to him. He couldn't do it.
Okay.
But we're gonna get him on here soon. I'd love another newer channel. There are so many newer channels out there. And I've said this 1,000 times, Sammy. When I started, Orlando, so many people who had been doing it for a while welcomed me in. John Mangini was already, he was big back then, and he welcomed me in.
Right.
And everybody did a real good job of that. So I try to do that in return. There's a lot of new channels. Reverend Steve, Nerding Out with Cards John, Jay's Average Vintage Collector. He's somewhat new. Straight Race Cards is another one. I'm trying to think. Jayhawker, my man Mike.
I just sent Jay down that Boog Powell card.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so hopefully it should come soon, but
Was it a Venny?
It's a Venny.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I had to. I mean, I had to. Right. It was there. So, would love, going back to Straight Race Cards. Do you? Forgive me. Do you know his name? Like, I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Matt, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Okay.
And correct us if we're wrong, because he just did a video the other day that I was watching, and I thought it was. And that's the other thing, and I don't mean to cut you off here.
No, you're good.
As people are coming in, I'm subscribing to more and more channels, and I'm pretty good with names, and I'm starting to lose track because there's so many, and I'm trying to watch everybody's videos. I don't know how Orlando does it, man. I mean, he just goes and goes and goes. I try to be like that, but
Right.
it's rough. But Orlando's retired too, so like I was watching your video today, Sammy. I hope I don't get in trouble during work. So the one that you posted like 3 days ago.
I'm very pleased that I'm going to have Orlando on for a For Collectors collaboration video that will air Wednesday. We're recording it Monday, and we're going to have Orlando and his buddy Phil, who was at Strongsville.
Yes.
Phil, yeah, you know Phil. He was the guy who had the corner table that had all the Cuban cards, the Venny cards. So Phil, I don't know if he's done a collaboration video before, but I was like crossing my fingers, hoping that he would agree to do it, and he agreed. So
that's
awesome.
I'm
so glad that he's willing to do it, because Phil has just an expansive knowledge. And it's one of those things that's like one of those niche things that not a lot of people know enough about, and he's one of those guys that just can share it. So, and I'm looking forward to having those both of them on, because Orlando was the one who told me to go see Phil first, and that was the first card I bought at at Strongsville. I think I have it. Yeah, it's right here, the metal gold.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't Darren get his DiMaggio?
He did.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, good. That's so I mean, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of scarce stuff. Just in the card and
that's my bread and butter. I love that. So, so Dan is saying that he's doing a Red Heart show soon with a very special guest. That's going to be awesome.
I thought I saw. Didn't you do a whole episode, Dan? I thought I saw his Red Heart episode like a couple months ago. I thought he did one on his channel. I thought he did one.
Let's see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's another guest doing another Red Heart.
Right. Possible. You know what? No, it was the Wilson Franks.
Well,
it was the Wilson Franks, because I remember they were talking about the Nelly Fox being harder to find than people thought. So
the Wilson Franks, such a beautiful set.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful set. And Garrett, I know that Mike Baseball Collector was looking for a Ted Williams.
Does Garrett have one?
Garrett just picked. Yeah, Garrett picked one up. I don't know if he sold it yet. It's an authentic, so it's not number graded. But I mean, I don't. Every collector's different, so I don't know if Mike prefers one that's graded a number, or if he doesn't care. But this one is it's an SGC. I know he prefers PSA, but I mean, the way I see it is, I guess those cards don't come up too often, so you can easily just cross it over if you wanted to do that.
I think he's kind of turned the page a little bit on that. And then, I'm going to say something really controversial. I've turned the page where I don't even care if it's graded anymore. I'm starting to get to that point. So.
Yeah, I hear you. Commitment to get to Strongsville, money, time, travel is more. It's all more convenient than the National. It's way more likely. That's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, that'd be a blast, my friend.
The countdown starts now. Jake was a trooper, man. He drove everybody around. Like, honestly, that was a lot of work. And then he had to drive all the way back to, North Carolina. I mean, that's a trek, man. That is such a trek.
Well, I kind of offered up to be everybody's cabbie when I'm in Chicago. If they need help or
I need someone. Yeah, I don't know if the hotel has a shuttle, so I got to figure out how I'm going to get to.
Well, I'll just come get you. Just tell me. Just give me a flight. I'll come get you. I even told Greg. Greg is flying into Midway with his dad.
Midway.
And I said,
he's not flying to O'Hare.
O'Hare? No, he's like, I'm in the other one. I'm like, Greg, that's far. I'm like, call me and I'll just come get you. That's cool. That's not like a hop skip. So
yeah, that's wild. Yeah, where is that one? Is that one?
It's on the south side of the south side of Chicago. So it's if you're familiar with the suburb Cicero, it's near Cicero.
Okay.
So it's quite a distance because the National's not in Chicago, it's in Rosemont. So
yeah,
everybody thinks it's in the city. It's not.
But next year it's going to be in Chicago, or
is it moving out of Rosemont? I haven't heard.
I thought it was. I thought it was going to be in two different spots.
Oh, that'd be well. It would have to be. I don't know. McCormick. McCormick is huge, though. I think it's too big for the National. Actually, Mitchell might know. So
Mitchell, chime in, my friend.
Yeah, if you know. I thought it was still I thought Rosemont had a lock on it for 3 years.
So Ruben says those are the dogs of Jason's captors. Since he's in the hostage room. Talk about your dog barking.
I'll show you. I'll show you the bucket I got a crap in, Ruben, later on. I'm not allowed to go to the bathroom.
Oh man, I guess that's where you're spitting your. That's where you're also spitting
Yeah, yeah.
your chew.
All bodily functions go to the bucket.
Oh, Theo's here. What's up, Theo? Sheets is great. It is. History says I like the National in Boston, but they're going to have 1,000. That's wild. And table show in Mansfield, Massachusetts in 20. That's crazy, man. I got to check into that one. 1,000 tables?
That sounds fun.
I guess that's Philly card show size.
That's in September, right, Sammy?
The Philly show will be in September, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar. If you guys aren't, go check him out. Coach Cards Neil.
Yeah, I met him in person in Delaware.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
We took a picture together.
Yeah, he was just asking. Yeah, he sent it to me and Aaron.
Yeah.
And I'm like, tell him he's a moron. And he's like, oh, I left him like 2 hours ago. I'm like, tell Sammy he's a moron from me.
Perfect. We all need more Boog. I'm like, we're way behind on the chat, man. I got to catch up. I apologize, guys. I'm doing my best here. I am losing names also. Joe, Everyday Collector.
Hey, there's Kurt from Lawrence. Thanks, Kurt.
Kurt from Lawrence. Oh man. So Orlando saying Phil is awesome. Oh yeah, that's right. He did write 3 books. Phil
he had one there at Strongsville.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going back on sort of regrets that I have. Phil had a Milton Bradley board game of like the Milton Bradley cards.
Yes.
I don't know if it was 69 or 70. I couldn't tell you. But he had the entire board game with all the cards included, and he had it for like $100, and then I think he dropped it down to like 80 or I don't know, maybe. And I regret not taking it.
My cheap rear end would have even bought that, Sam.
I know. I just think is that I wouldn't know what to do with it because, like I have my table set up here with stuff, but I don't know where I'd put it. So that was my reasoning, and it probably wasn't great reasoning because I would have.
I don't have any space.
I don't have any space. I truly don't.
Right.
Best bet is to call everyone Mike, the most common name in the community.
In honor of John 3D, I want to show my first non-numbered slab, and I absolutely love it. He did a whole video today on authentic, and this I got it.
That was a good video. I mentioned. I think when it comes to all having altered cards, it really depends. For me, it depends. Like, will I take an altered card that has a overall pop report of like 10 or? Of course, you know what I mean. It's if something's graded and authentic and there's only like 10 in existence total or 15,
it is what it is.
No brainer. You got to just. I'm like I take Orlando's advice. It's like when you see something so scarce, grade becomes secondary.
Yes. Oh, this was Dom's favorite too. I forgot to say, Dom's locked for the probably the best Hall of Famer in the world, Ray Shaw.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let me correct myself. Actually, grade. I mean, grade is the eye appeal obviously becomes the the focal point for the most part. Yeah.
I have several people in my ear, to include the president of our hobby, talking about how they hate it, and it's starting to ring home with me a little bit. Where I'm just like, you know what? It looks beautiful in a top loader.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I see Don Field of Dream is ripping on probably the nectar of the gods, the tastiest beer in the world.
Yeah, he's not too pleased with that crap beer that you're drinking.
He couldn't. He doesn't even understand. He doesn't even know. He's too busy puffing on $3 cigars.
Yeah, Don got some good. Yeah, Don got some good stuff. He had some good stuff he was selling at the.
Yes, he did.
Don always has good stuff, man. He picks out some good cards.
Well, he picked up the Starkel decal Musial, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Did you help him with that?
Sort of. I'm trying to remember exactly how that went down. I think I mentioned like the Starkel decal. I think he knew about the Starkel decals. Right. I think I just told him where to look. Like there was, I think, what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden?
Chapel?
Yeah. Bill had one, and but I think he got his from somebody else. I could be wrong. So, but he can chime in the chat if he needs to, if he wants to. But yeah, that was good stuff. I mean, I'm a sucker for that set.
Yeah, you and Steven, once he got his Jackie, he brushed up on his knowledge.
Oh, so I did. I took him to the dealer. I guess
It
I
was
took him to
Chapel.
Chapel. I thought for whatever reason, I got it in my head that I'm thinking that he went to Chapel first, looked at it, and then he found one somewhere else. But I must be thinking of somebody else.
And Chapel had a big stack, and I saw you both
Yeah.
there, I think, at the
Well,
time.
I bought the Bobby Thompson off of Chapel, so that's like the only external player that I collect outside of.
We're gonna change that. I'm gonna start to ride the Aaron train. We're gonna put some pressure on you.
It's got to be cheap. It has to be cheap.
Go look at the Mel Ott Cashin and tell me it's not one of the greatest cards ever. And
How,
Mel Ott was a
how much
legend.
does it go for?
Jimmy Fox is another guy.
Well, how much does it go for though?
Mel Fox? I'd say maybe
A Mel Ott, yeah.
1,000 to 15.
I'm
1,000
not
to
doing
15.
that. I'm not spending $1,000 on.
Look at the collection sitting behind you. Don't even start with that. Stop it.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to throw $1,000 at a player that I have. I
All right, Jimmy
don't have a
Fox.
connection with.
Jimmy Fox.
No, I mean there's no connection there. I mean, listen, Jimmy Fox is one of the greatest power hitters to ever live.
Yes.
But I don't have any connection to Jimmy Fox, and I will compromise with Mel Ott or Carl Hubble because they were Giants. That's
right.
The only
That's
reason.
right. That's what I was thinking. Right.
So Aaron is saying the Ott Cashin is the way to go.
Yeah,
$700. Even that's too expensive.
It's
gotta
Aaron,
be like
if you find
100.
the thing for $700, I'll be on layaway with you again. I haven't seen it for 700 in a long time.
Oh, man.
Tough to find, actually.
So Don is filling in, the guy from Indiana. So that is Chapel, which I found out that he's not from Indiana. He's from North Carolina.
Oh, he is. He's from North Carolina.
From North Carolina, but he lives in Indiana now, I think.
Yeah, just outside of Indy, I think.
Yeah, and JD Heckathorn.
Yes.
He's from Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm glad he decided to come on to For Collectors to do a collector's.
Yeah, that's cool. That was very cool.
He was like, I don't think anyone's gonna find. And I'm like, no, man, you got to trust me on this. People want to hear your story. He goes, okay. JD was a trooper, man. He was a trooper.
Aaron said his was $700. That's because Aaron bought it when he was like 14.
So how much would it be worth now?
Right, exactly. Like now they're like 1,400. I'd say you could probably get one for 12.
Yeah. Mitchell's leaving.
See you, Mitchell.
Have a good weekend, man. So Jake is saying clearly y'all are going to get into bidding more for my roof. Nah, man, come on, man. I'm no way. I'm not like I'm a Mets.
Why not Ruth?
I'm a Giants and Mets fan. There's no way I'm getting a Ruth.
All right, so Giants. So then, So see how smart Aaron is. He even knew where to lead you. He was leading you towards Giants, Hubble, and Ott.
I can't do it. I mean, I gotta say, I have to start doing my research and figuring out which Ott or Hubble is will be the next card.
Hubble. You know what? He's not crazy expensive. I'm gonna give away all the secrets of cards that I'm looking at right now. Do you like food issue items, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So the Dixie lids. Hubble's got some real cool Dixie lids. And low grades are a couple $100. So
okay, all right.
Maybe $200 or something like that.
I feel like I'm gonna have you guys like just walking behind me. It's like, ooh, Hubble. Check that out, Sammy. Hubble. Like, man.
Yeah.
Blinders.
His 39 play ball is awesome, and he has a ton of awesome Wheatie panels too, and that's all under $300. All of that, mostly under 200.
JD is a great guy. Let's see. I talked to JD at the Pittsburgh show and mentioned the show. He was, that was cool. I'm glad I hope he had fun. His wife is also really, really nice too. She was, they're both in it, in it together for, with dealing probably for the longest time now. But they have some good stories.
Yeah, that's cool.
Gary to round out. Get the hell out of here, Aaron. You're crazy. I'm not betraying my Mets and Giants fiefdom. Lou Rock is here. Sup, beautiful people. Lou Rock was our first guest.
Yes, he was.
Man.
Yes, he was.
He's always late to the party.
He's a busy man. And Lou Rock, is he doing the National this year?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you doing it, Lou Rock? I guess he'll answer eventually. I was with my dad, age 88. He was telling me of my grandpa's favorite Cardinal players from the 30s to the 60s. That speaks volume to you, being Cardinals
Yeah,
allegiance.
30s to 60s. So, you're talking Dizzy Dean,
Yeah,
Frankie Frisch, Tucky Medwig. Those are early guys. And 60s, Gibson, Musial. You
right.
know,
Are
that's,
you sending? Are you sending that Stan?
the Red Man?
Are
I
you
did.
sending that in, or are you
I
just
did. It
keeping it
came
raw?
back. It
What did
came
it come
back.
back as?
2, I think.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it was a 2.
I didn't realize that came back.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that thing. That
Looks
protects-
fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
What a great price, too, Sammy. It was a great price. And when you look at the number, that's fantastic.
What does it sell for in its
I don't know. I don't care. I don't look at that.
$500?
Once I have the card, it doesn't matter because I don't sell cards.
Yeah.
So I can tell you what a card's worth when I'm looking to buy it.
Yeah.
Once it's bought, I don't know if they go up or down. I don't know.
So people are filling in the chats about the Hubbles. So I'm gonna just
Ruben said, "Did I flash my crack again, Ruben? I'm sorry." He said I flashed my butt crack.
let me see. Everyone's saying Hubble. Hubble has the epic All-Star game and was dominant. I actually don't know a whole lot about Carl Hubble. I know he was. I mean, again, like I stick to my guys, but if I'm going to be convinced, I need to learn more about these guys.
Maybe I'll just buy you one, and then it'll kind
No,
of
don't do that. I'm not going.
You can find inexpensive ones.
Well, they hear like Jake is telling me that he just sold a Hubble Dixie lid last month for like $80.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a mid, like a 3 or a 4, I think it's like $200.
Keith is saying a 36 Wheaties Hubble.
Yep.
Sammy Hubble Thunder. Nah. I saw that horizontal Hubble Gaudy on the Four Collective video that Mark Stuff of Greatness had. Yeah, that video was crazy. John McGraw. Yeah, I mean, so there's a little bit of a project I'm working on where I'm trying to collect all the portraits from the T206 of all the Giants players. I have a couple of them. I have Red Ames and Bull Durham, but and obviously Christie. But yeah, I mean, John McGraw. Like, why did he have to have 2 portraits with hat, without hat? Kind of messes things up, makes it more expensive for me. No, but yeah, we'll see. 39.
Maybe you start doing runs like that, right? Maybe it just becomes different runs, teams that meant something to you. I don't know.
It's too much work. 1939 play ball, Mel Ott, the 38 Dixie lid premium Carl Hubble are really nice and affordable.
Premium is awesome. I love the Dixie lid premiums. Beautiful, but it's oversized. And Sammy, you stay away from oversized, don't you?
Yeah, always. Mr. El Bencho is here. I keep telling Mikey that he needs to create a T-shirt that says like El Bencho's on the front because.
And the,
well, he always mentions he's like whenever he buys Common or not, I don't know, is it Commons that he calls El Bencho?
Yeah, El Benchos. But I love it when he goes through. He actually, I think he did a video.
Oh, the horn. You're talking about the horn.
Yeah, he had to back off because dealers were getting ticked at him or something like that. I think he did a video where he's like, I have to back off of that a little bit because guys are like, hey.
But it was like, I think it was dan dan dan.
Right. Mikey's got a bazillion likes like me. He's a big car guy too, and I
Who's
love
that.
Mikey.
Oh, Mikey, yeah.
So that'll take some of your money away beyond baseball cards.
I was the first guest and never got an invite back. No, Lou,
have we repeated a guest yet?
No, but listen, Lou, I'll put the link in the chat right now.
Jump in.
Here you go. Link is in there. You can jump on in.
This is the hangout.
Yeah, this is a hangout. We got a good crowd, 58 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a good number tonight.
Do you have any Fred Merkle?
I do have a Fred Merkle. Do I have it? I don't have it on the display case right now, but I do have a Fred Merkle. And because the portrait thing I'm working on.
Okay.
So.
Oh, right on. So, because I'm eyeing one up, and actually, I think I'm annoyed that I'm getting outbid on this Fox. I might just go buy this Merkle right now.
Which one? Which Merkle?
I don't want to tell you yet because I haven't bought it yet.
So okay, fair enough.
You saw it yesterday and said you love those, and I said yes, I do.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Lou said he's in bed. He's waking up at 4:30 for work tomorrow. Man, I'm like, go to bed, man.
Yeah, that's rough.
I would not be here. I'd be asleep. Oh man. It's like this guy cannot stay away. This guy cannot stay away. I'm actually all right, I'm not gonna spoil it. But I was thinking about having this guy we're about to bring on, having him for Hobbypalooza.
Okay.
And
who is it?
Look at this guy.
There he is.
All right. It's so great to see you, Jay. How you doing?
I have not done a video with Lenny yet, so this is my first time.
Yeah.
You know, I missed out, Lenny. I was in Vegas. I felt horrible.
I'm getting feedback.
You hearing us?
Can you hear us? And like, oh, hold on. Are you in the live stream or are you on the StreamYard?
Well, I'm in both. Hold on one second.
Yeah, close out of the YouTube.
Done. We got it.
Okay, that'll clear it up because otherwise you're gonna, everyone's.
Yeah. So
yeah.
What's up?
What's up? So yeah, I am considering if you are interested in doing the Hobbypalooza with us, because you are a great guest.
Thank you.
Yes, you have a lot of insightful things to say, and I think we didn't have enough time to be able to carry on the conversation that we did, and I think that is the perfect opportunity to continue.
Would absolutely love to do that. So,
yeah.
And then also too, I just want to extend an invite to anybody that's out there. If you got channels or whatever, and you want to, open up a gift box for me, just send me an email at carcast@gmail.com and I will hook you up. I'll throw you some things that you probably haven't seen before. And we got vouchers in the room. So, Keith just actually sent me a message through the chat that he got his box today. And it's all fun, man. And Sammy, I love your video today as far as, is it tough to break into circles as far as with all the YouTube channels going on and, there seems to be like a group of guys here, but all you got to do is just be genuine, just be genuine, be yourself and, try not to, just be yourself, I guess, if you can contribute in any way as far as any kind of watching the videos or just typing in the chat, that all helps, and obviously I think it's more about from an outsider looking in, and I'm a dealer, but from an outsider looking in, as far as looking at the pre-war, it could be a little scary and intimidating.
Sure.
Yeah. So the key is this is the best thing to do right now is to get involved with everybody, because if you check out people's channels and this and that, you can see things for free. You couldn't do that 20, 30 years ago, 10 years ago.
Right.
Well, that's, there's the first person I think of when it comes to certain, there's a variety of channels that cover pre-war, but the first person I think of that is for example, if you're looking to kind of dip your feet into pre-war, T206 is fantastic, right? We can all agree that T206 is great because it kind of introduces you to all the different Hall of Famers that exist, all the different teams that exist, and minor leagues, Southern leagues, and so forth. There's a lot of variety there. And the first person I always think of for that is Chris Torres, CRT Sports.
CRT, yeah.
The best in my mind.
So it's fun. You can pick your poison. That's what's awesome about this community. And I feel that 99.999% of the community is welcoming. At least they were for me. So I try to do the same in return. I get a kick out of it because you can now, it's almost specialized, right? Aaron is my friend, but a big influence on me and has got me in the route that I'm currently going. Mangini has everything, right? So if you want to learn a little bit about everything, that's the guy to watch, right? That's I watched before I jumped on with my own channel and I wanted to learn more about just vintage in general. He was the guy I was kind of watching because he shows you a little bit of everything. And once you pick up a little bit of everything, then you can go to the specialized guys. Rick Vintage Oddball Cars is another great guy for pre-war. Peter B, you could learn a ton.
Oh yeah, Peter B is great. Yeah, he's got a lot.
Most of 1%. That's it. So
the 1% that wasn't welcoming was this tall guy named Dan or Don. I didn't know much about him, but man, was he rude.
But Jason, what's great about your channel and what I love about your channel is that you are like the liaison for all things, sports cards, and so you could start there and then get your, because you'll talk about, a refractor card from the 90s,
Right.
or, an insert card or a game use card from two, but then you also go into Butterfingers and, all the other, the R type, it's got to be wide pens and
right.
everything else. It's such a wide thing, and and your channel is great. You've grown. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I appreciate the kind words, Lenny. My whole goal, and I'll say this, and when you say the same thing over and over again, you have to tell people, there's no smoke behind this. There's no BS behind it. I always tell people. A couple have reached out to me. I'm thinking about starting a channel, and my reply is the same reply I got from Orlando. Just do it. Just do it. When I reached out to Orlando, but just do it. You'll love it, and you'll have a blast. And that my whole thing is, all I want to do is have fun with this. Obviously I like to see the channel grow. Everybody needs validation, but at the end of the day, I just want to have fun. I've made a ton of great friends, people that I talk to regularly. Sammy's one of them. Like people that I talk to more than some guys I grew up with. And at the end of the day, that's more important. So my channel, if it becomes less fun or work, I just won't do it. And right now I'm having a blast. So you'll see me everywhere. So,
well, here's the best part. I think you're going to see, I catched an episode. It was probably a 6 to 7 day old episode of one of Lou Rock's, videos. And he was talking about, it was like a sad day in a card shop. And he was talking about the youth and the kids and stuff like that. And believe it or not, all roads do point to vintage, and putting out the different types of, the thought process of doing a Mount Rushmore episode. I didn't even know you guys were doing that until just recently. I just saw your last one on the A's. Right. I'm like, oh my God, blew my mind. Cause now I'm like, cause I love the A's, and there's a lot of cards I haven't even seen, and I'm a dealer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't, it's like, geez, Eddie Collins, this and that. So that if you haven't checked out, it'll give you a plug.
There it is.
Yeah, I checked out Jay and Aaron's show. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and the gentleman we had on, Neil's a great guy and a new channel. I think he's got 88 subscribers. And I said, jump on. You're an A's guy. Yeah. We'll have fun with that. And he has an amazing collection as well. So. That's the fun. You're always learning, man. As you know, Sammy, you know this. You're always learning, and there's so many resources within the hobby. So many guys to reach out to, who specialize. Like I said, if I'm looking at exhibit cards and I don't understand anything about them, I'll just go to the encyclopedia. And he lives in Minnesota. That's Stooks, for those who don't know. So Stooks has knowledge about everything. So you can kind of pretty much reach out to him for anything.
So we have another guest. Oh, well, he joined and then he bounced. So it was Billy from Phil Necro fan 35.
Oh, he's the best. He's my moonshine
he was
buddy.
setting up his camera, but then
I saw his thing. He's a Reds fan turned to the Braves. TBS, baby. That's what we had in Connecticut, I remember watching those 80s teams where, like, it was like Dale Murphy and Bob Horner, Andres Thomas, and, as far as hitting, their pitching sucked.
Yeah.
Up until, like, the late 80s. They had the hitting. They just didn't have the pitching.
Yeah, so we always had the Cubs. We had WGN in Chicago. So you would get home and you catch the tail end of the game.
Dawson was my guy. Dawson was my guy growing up. I have the huge poster from JP Rock Solid, the show poster that they have.
Right.
And I friends with Brian and Jimmy, long time, worked with them, worked for them, and then, kind of went on my own. And I don't really call him a favor often, but when Dawson was there in 2012 and for the March Madness show, they had the 78 Topps Cup card poster thing. So we had that in the back. They pulled it down, signed it. Best wishes to Lenny. I have all of Andre's wishes. Nobody else can have any of his wishes. I have all the best from him.
That's
and
awesome.
It was great because I wish I had the camera on back then because I got to interview him. And because I was like, I saw him a lot, and because I would go down to the Shea Stadium a lot with my buddy. We went to like 15 games a year,
sure,
from like 94 to like 98, 99, and so Dawson was there. He was in his last year with the Marlins, and he just, I don't know, man, he just looked like he was done. He was like depressed or whatever, and yeah, so it just, but it was great to see him at the show and everything, and he got to sign my stuff, and I just
No,
felt
that's awesome.
well, I
That
felt
is
like
great.
Ozzie Smith and Kirby Puckett got I don't know, chalices and plates from every stadium. He didn't, because I watched that.
Right.
And
For
when I
him.
asked him about that, I said, "Listen," I said, "I saw those two get them thing." And I felt like you didn't get your flowers. He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "That was for them." He goes, "I love those guys," and that was he was so gentleman.
He's pretty reserved too.
Yeah, he is.
Reserved. Yeah.
What's up, Billy?
What's going on, Billy?
Hey,
Did you
sorry,
break
I
up-
lost internet connection.
You got some moonshine stirring up over
No moonshine fireball tonight.
I like the fedora, man.
Thank you.
I know you drink the good stuff though.
Oh yeah, I like some PBR.
So how have you been, my friend? What have you been adding to the collection lately?
I've been adding some 64 tops. I got 51 coming next week
Okay.
for my collection. That'll get me over to 50%.
Oh wow.
I added 73 Kellogg's Phil Necro recently,
Oh, fantastic.
and
And now you do mostly eBay?
eBay and Facebook.
Okay.
I get a lot of the 64s from Facebook.
Yeah, you build those relationships up, and you kind of get a deal on those, which isn't that bad.
Yeah, because I've been buying from the same guy on Facebook, and he gives me a really good deal on them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. That's fantastic. Yeah, I saw Don mentioned Billy's the best. Where's the mayor? I know the mayor. The mayor's spent a late night or two with Billy and myself and a few others from time to time.
Yeah, we've had some good late nights at Strongsville.
You guys closed down the joint.
Yeah, I think the first year I was there, it was 1:30 or something like that.
I remember that. Like,
I'll get a little silly. We all got a little silly.
Oh, real silly. Speaking in cursive, as Chris said.
That's right. That's right.
Every story starts with, "Well, I started drinking Fireball."
right. It used to be Jaeger back in the day, right? Oh, I was doing Jaeger shots, and
Jaeger's hard.
yeah, it's hard. It is rough.
All right, I got to grab another beer, so
Go ahead, my friend.
I'll be back. Hold down the fort.
So yeah, I mean, we were initially kind of talking national earlier on. Are you guys gonna both be there?
No,
No.
I'm working 55 hours a week. I get one day off.
Yeah, that's tough. Life comes first. Priorities. That's for real.
Yeah, I'm an assistant manager at a convenience store, and I'm filling in at another convenience store that's short of people. So I just get no time off.
Sure. I get it.
But it helps buy cards.
Yeah, exactly right. How about you, Lenny? You heading?
So here's the thing. I actually mentioned in the last live stream that even though my guys are there, all my guys are there, all the dealers and promoters and whatever, I was gonna go. I made the decision. There's a business opportunity within my business that I will display on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, because it's going to be an interesting journey with this purchase I'm making. So any money that I'm actually I kind of got to the point with the collecting aspect, I'm kind of done for right now, because I just need to kind of go all funds towards this.
Sure.
And so when I do that, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I will put it up, on the channel as far as the process and the progress of that. But next year, 2026, I'm doing all this now so that I can, and I was telling Sammy, I had taken a step back from doing a lot of multi-day shows for a combination of just, it's not healthy, for dealers to be, behind the boots, especially the national. I mean, it's holy cow. So my goal is I'm going to free myself up. I'm going to do a little more social media stuff. I was telling Keith from Lonely Basement Cards at a show, I had purchased, because we were talking about, just apps on the phone, editing, things like that to get your channel, I don't know. He was we were just talking about up to par or whatever.
Sure.
And I was like, dude, I spent $3,000 on a MacBook Pro. I have all the editing software, the lifetime editing software on there. What was it, Final Cut Premiere or whatever it is?
Wow.
And I'm just like, I haven't opened it in a year and a half. I opened it to download the program. That was it. I use my phone for everything, and this and that. But the problem is it's the time. You go out, you buy these big collections, you process them, you go from show to show, big show to big show, and it's tough. So I'm going to take a step back. I want to get more involved in especially with your crew and this and that. I would love to go out to Strongsville next year. I'm going out there as a buyer and as a fan, as a collector, and as a YouTuber. I don't want to be behind the table. I don't want to be stuck behind there. I have that at Philly. I have it here at local shows in Connecticut. I drop the White Plains and the Hofstra shows just because it doesn't make financial sense for me to do them anymore, or just health-wise. So and then next year for the National, I'll be doing the same thing. Okay. So, so stay tuned, especially with the new purchase that's going to be coming up over the summer. And it's going to be fun to just kind of display that. And then, whatever, but you guys, again, as much as I can do it, as far as having a guy behind the table, we were talking about, lifting the veil a little bit last week. If you guys have questions, you want to send them or me or whatever, we'll get together and we'll do something, and I'll answer as best as I can, because I know a lot of dealers are kind of they kind of protect the cards to the chest as far as what they do and how they do it. Right. But I think there's a safe way to not blow up everybody's spot and whatever, and just you can be
cautiously transparent and still work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
Billy, you're definitely going to Strongsville though the following year, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's got to be.
That's already on the vacation calendar.
All right, good.
Making sure that everybody knows to sub up to Billy as well as Lenny. Just making sure that
gotta pump these.
Billy, who are you shushing? Are you?
he's family. Hey, I'm doing a live. It's all right. We're amateurs, Billy. You can tell them whatever you want.
I'm definitely an amateur, especially at collecting.
Can I show you? I didn't get a chance to show you 3 cards I wanted to show you. Can I show you 3 cards?
Heck yeah.
Let me give you the.
Hold on. Let me show you my butt crack first. Hold on.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was doing a good job of that already.
My BC. Hold on. We gotta go to the top shelf here.
Yeah.
So
I'll make sure. Let me see. I got to set this up. All right. There we go. Bingo. You are the main screen.
So I'll probably end up doing a show on what I would call the big 3 from '83, and those are the big 3 rookies.
Okay.
Gwynn, Sandberg, and Boggs.
Yes, but here we go. So we got a 83 Boggs with multiple inscriptions.
Nice.
We have a 83 Sandberg with multiple inscriptions.
And a mint 9.
And we also have a Tony Gwynn. Actually, hold on.
I always see Tony Gwynn's stats all the time about how little he's.
Tony Gwynn.
He was the best hitter of his era.
Tony Gwynn is the man. First of all, his son runs a brewery, and I've had their beers before. Their IPAs are amazing. And they actually come in San Diego Padres 70s style colors. And it's you can get 2 cases of beer for $50-$60 ship. It's fantastic. I would recommend doing it. So here now, this is having inscriptions, but this is what does it say? It's an authentic with a 10 autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have a one that I tried getting graded and it got a little graded.
Card.
Go to the 80s.
He's speed demon right there. So
I've got a Gwynn signed bat that I got signed from him personally. And I'm a Frank Thomas guy, right? Being a White Sox fan. But if you had to ask who was the best hitter of that era, I would instantly tell you it's Tony Gwynn.
Oh my God. The no strikeouts.
Right.
Were and then even hearing about the Hall of Fame pitchers, the Braves pitchers, about how hard of a time
he struck out in his lifetime. He struck out 9 times against Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox in his lifetime against them, or something like that.
And Jay, I just want to be clear because I have another round of stuff in my sorting tray. Because again, one of the reasons why I got back into this was because as far as like doing videos. Now, listen, anybody that is interested in hearing any kind of podcast I started doing like back in 2020, I did, several podcasts with my buddy Mike DeAngelis from Long Island. And he has a break group called Opening Day on Facebook. And really great guy, honest guy, but we were doing podcasts back then. So I had like Jimmy Spence on my podcast. I had Jimmy Ryan on my podcast. I had a couple of other guests. I had John Rossi, Papa Ballcards. He was on my Papa Rossi. He was on my podcast.
Papa, your vintage.
Yeah. So I had to hear him about his engineering thing and measuring everything. It was great. And but basically so if you go back and you listen to some of that stuff, we just talk about it's era catching, you know what I mean? Like you can hear about the stuff that we were talking about back then, but a couple other cards. I don't know so Jay, what I was trying to get to was as far as other, like, are you Blackhawks fan?
I am.
You are, okay. And so it's White Sox, Cardinals,
Black, and then everything else Chicago. Blackhawks,
okay.
Bears.
All right, gotcha.
I'm not a Cub hater. Everyone thinks I'm a Cub hater. I'm not a Cub hater.
Gotcha. So anyway,
my close friends who I grew up with, they're all Cub fans. So then I pretend.
You gotta love the Cubs.
It's tough to hate them. Even now, they got a good young team. So
these are a couple of football cards. I know. I mean, sorry if you're Bears, but
you show.
But
yeah,
here's a Bart Starr 63 top sign with Super Bowl MVP 1 and 2.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Now, so this is like these, you can't separate these. So this is a 69 Broadway Joe Namath signed Super Bowl MVP 3. And I don't know why they didn't get the card grade, but this thing is like, it looks to me like an 8 or a 9. So the only thing I could think of is that maybe the card is slightly oversized, but holy smokes. I mean, this card is like, it's insane. So I didn't get a chance to show those last time, but and I have obviously tons of other stuff. So
do you follow Tony Southern Collector, right? He's big on the autographed cards right now. If I have to kind of like weed my way through all that and get him. So if he's here, like sub me, I'll sub you back. And if he's not here, I'll reach out to him. I'll tell him to sub to you.
Yeah. Because a lot of the stuff I do is like in-person cards and signed cards and stuff like that. That's like my main thing, and I just feel like that, the connection of. I feel like it eventually kind of goes to there. Like it's like, okay, well, I love the 85 Topps McGuire card. Well, why not have it autographed?
Right.
Why not? But then it gets dangerous because then you go, well, why not have it with the highest grade autograph with inscriptions, with this and that? It's just it gets kind of nuts. You
fall down the rabbit hole. You fall down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. So, but you guys, I hate you guys over the last 3 to 4 months because hate love, but like I've been looking at all pre-war stuff. And I'm literally looking. So I'm looking right now. I'm looking at a Diamond Stars Lou Riggs.
Great
set.
If you
guys are familiar with that card, but that's a pretty card because you got the ump in the background, and he's running up, and it's because I like the Reds. So I'm also looking at the 48 Swell A's card with number 1, the single greatest inning, I think it was, with all the guys.
Yep.
So now I'm like, geez, guys, like I thought I was kind of close to being done, but I'm keeping an eye out. So.
Oh, there's a whole other. If pre-war's just the dip, there's a whole other rabbit hole.
I know.
It's a dangerous world.
Billy, you do a little bit of everything. You dive into pre-war a little bit, don't you?
I haven't yet, but I've been looking at some stuff on eBay.
Okay. I wasn't certain. I know you're mainly kind of golden era, but I thought you were dipping into it a little bit.
No, yeah, I've been looking at some Gaudy premiums.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful cards.
Some of your White Sox people.
Oh, really? Who are you looking at? Like Ted Lyons, Faber?
Thank you, Ruben. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Jeez, that's so nice of you.
You asked me too quick. Now I can't think.
Luke Appling might be Luke Appling.
Luke Appling.
Yeah,
Luke Appling's the one I've been looking at.
Yeah, it's great. It's not. Is it this?
No, it's not that good.
Okay, because I got this. I bought this for under $40. and then had it graded. So, and came back
Yeah.
to 4.5.
I think this is graded a 1 or an authentic. I can't remember.
That's all you need, my man. That number don't mean
Yeah, that's
squat.
all I care.
That number don't mean nothing.
I mean, my 65 Phil Necro is just an authentic because I
That's
got a
fine.
really good
Yeah.
deal on it.
I'm good with that.
I got one
What do you-
more
what do you
card
got
to
there?
share. Now Brent brought this up. Brent Richards brought this up several shows ago. It is the 54 Top Scoops Ruth.
Yep.
And look, I was buying and selling this card. I'm going to do a show. Jason and Sam, you're going to love. You guys are going to love this. I have photos timestamped of my showcases back in 2014, and I have a $10 showcase that's got like 75 tops Robin Yount, 75 tops George Brett, off grade, 80 tops Hendersons, as many as you want, 82 tops Ripkins. But also my next showcase, I've got like just an off, lower to off grade Hank Aaron rookie at $350.
Jesus.
I have this card in the 66 tops Joe Namath, I was buying on eBay and trying to sell at shows and like trying to convince people like, no, you need to buy these cards. I was buying off grade roots at like $30 to $40 and putting that $75, and they were still unsold.
Wow.
And now you can't even touch them for that.
That's crazy. Isn't that nuts? That is nuts.
It just because the cards were too, there wasn't, unfortunately, it took 2020 and everything that happened there to make everybody kind of feel nostalgic and get involved.
Yep. And the realization.
But you're going to so I have stuff that's timestamped. I picked up 253 tops Manals that were not pasted, but taped in the books, and they had the backs ripped out, but the fronts were fine. I called them like pocket kings, and I paid, I think, $100 a piece for them in 2017. But the fronts are they look like they're threes.
If you still had them, I'd give you $500 each for them right now.
Right. Here's the crazy thing. Back then, I sold them, I think, for $700 a piece. But I'm sure they're a lot more now.
Now it'd be $1,400 each. Now.
Yeah, I haven't had an authentic one or anyone in a while, but it's crazy.
I saw Lou Rock taking a stab at my White Sox. It's easy to collect them because nobody wants them. There's some truth to that, Lou Rock. There's some reality to that. It's not the Yankee Premium that you guys all search out for. You and Keith on the Yankee Premium cards. And then I think Bruce had asked me, do I have any Eddie Cicotte? I do not. Mm-hmm. He's in the works and he's very affordable. You have to have a little Eddie Cicotte if you're a White Sox fan, just based on the history. So.
Yep. So I figured I'd show. I have some cards that I'm selling. I have.
Great. I got to break. Do I have a tab with you at all? Do I have anything running with you?
No, you're good. You're
all right. But there's nothing you're holding, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. That might change now. I don't know.
That might change right now.
But everybody knows I am selling.
Yes.
Selling this now.
Come on.
You haven't heard yet, Lenny. I don't think I haven't mentioned it really to that many people. So for those that are wondering why would I sell this, the Hires Root Beer Maze No Tab, is because I purchased one with a tab.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on its way. I bought it from another Maze collector that I'm friends with on Facebook. I don't know. Somebody, you guys might know him. I don't know. Micah Berman. He's young. He's a younger kid, but he's a big maze collector. Collects a lot of he loves collecting the rare and scarce maze stuff. So he has. Let me switch this back. He has two 58 Hires root beer tabbed maze. One is in a SGC 7, which the reason why he has one in a PSA 4 and an SGC 7. And he sold me the PSA 4 but there was a contingency put in place. He would not sell it to me until SGC returned back his card reholdered with the new slab. And it took over 50 days to get it reholdered.
Yeah.
So that was, it was. I mean, yeah, we would chat every now and then, and I would be like, "Hey, Micah, just checking in, man. Is any news?" He goes, "Nope, still stuck and received," and it was stuck and received for quite a while. And then I got a message from him, and he goes, "Finally!" And then he goes, after he sends the picture, he goes, "All right, so." He gives me the PayPal information, and I'm like, "Oh,
Done deal. We're
Yeah.
good.
You know, I hate to say this because I still have one friend that works at Beckett that authenticates autographs, and I'm still waiting. I subbed with a friend who does bulk, and we're still waiting on the stuff since October.
Wow.
October.
Damn.
That's long, my friend.
That is a long,
Very long time.
yeah, you're not kidding me."
Apparently, we're supposed to just get it back in the next week, but my God, like
That's insane. That's insane.
I remember
What else
Ryan
you got,
was-
Sammy? Because
Yeah.
there's one I might say, yeah, I might have an idea on that one. I think you still have it.
What's that?
You said you were going to show what you're selling. You showing more?
I gotta. Yeah, hold on. I gotta open up the safe. See if this is the right one. Yeah, this is the right stack of stuff. So I'll tell you the reason. You guys might be surprised why. Like, why would I start selling this stuff? But there's a reason behind it. So the stand-up from '64. This one I've had for a while. It's a really nice looking 2, but the reason why I got a 2 is because of the writing on the back. So there's that one.
Yeah, that
This
might
one-
be the one, Sammy, by the way.
Wait, is that Sammy? Is that on eBay right now?
No. This one I don't. I sell directly to people.
Okay,
So-
gotcha. Okay.
But then there's the 52 Maze. So that one, everyone's probably like, "Why would you sell that?" So I'll tell you the reason after. I'll just go through the cards and then I'll explain my reasoning. Tom Seaver, the rookie. This one, the one thing that's always perplexed me is, it has that PWCC sticker on the back, but I really don't know what it really does. It doesn't really do. I don't know if it does anything. So, but nevertheless, it's a really nice looking Seaver, really nicely centered. So there's that one. This one's sort of a heartbreak, but
I was surprised by that, Sammy, when you showed that one.
I'm ready.
I mean, it's not massive dollars. I was just surprised because of the story.
I know, and I might pull back on that one. And then so you guys see, everyone's Mike good. Send me blank twice if you're being held hostage. Your cards. Oh man, I appreciate that. So all right, the reasoning behind it is a lot of these cards that I'm selling, I can always buy back at some point later down the line. The Seaver, the Maze, pretty much all these cards, really. The stand-ups, they're available. You can find them. So as I've mentioned, I think I mentioned this to Jason, but I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys. So the Maze with the tab, I purchased that one. So I need to kind of offset that a little bit. So that's why I want to sell the the hires. I know Don is saying to keep both. I'm kind of just I don't need to have both cards, but I understand his reasoning. I purchased the Maze with tab, and then I also purchased this really massive Mathewson postcard that's coming in the mail tomorrow. It's leaving tomorrow, so there's a lot. I need to kind of start offloading that a little bit, and I figured that the best way to do that is with cards that I can always get back at a later time.
Yeah, that the card, the massive card is massive, and
I want to throw this out there about
Sure.
the Seaver rookie.
Yes.
And I had a conversation with this with my friend like literally like a week ago because he just picked one up, and out of the 30 years or 28 years I've been buying and selling cards,
Yeah.
I've only come across like in a house collection one low grade Seaver rookie out of like I just want to say this. You could go on eBay, you could go to shows, you go to auction houses, but finding them out in the wild, extremely tough. It's a card that just misses. Because it's a high number SP. you know.
But it feels like, I mean, you know this though. I mean, these at the Philly show, there's tons like you always run into
Well,
tables.
okay, so I'm giving you the dealer's perspective as far as
Right.
Yeah, I could see them at a show.
Yeah.
I don't see them out in the wild. I don't get phone calls with people calling me with complete 67 sets. They're
Okay.
calling me with like near sets.
Right.
Or they're calling me with, so don't get me wrong, they're out there and you could buy them. And by the way, one of my regret buys was, I think it was like 2 years ago, you could have gotten a PSA 7 Seaver rookie. It was like for $700, $800. Like that's where they were at 2 years ago, post pandemic, coming out of the bubble.
Right.
I don't even know how that happened. It was a huge regret buy for myself.
I will say this though, in fairness, in the flip coin, or the flip side of the coin, because I know what card Sammy has, and you may see that card, period. Wild eBay auctions once every 3 to 4 years, if you're lucky. You may see it. The pop on that is stifling next to a Deceiver rookie card.
Right.
Am I correct, Sammy?
What's that? The Matheson?
The big card that you picked up.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah. It's staggering. I mean, it's
and I'm not comparing that to that.
Yeah,
I'm just for Seaver rookies, for the people that are out there, like
no,
again,
you
they just
bring
don't
up-
come naturally.
right. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
and and believe me, I've given it a lot of thought because I know how tough they are to find centered, but I would. Now you're making me think double.
Sammy, hit me up.
Hey, Sammy, what you want for the 64 stand up?
Maybe I need something for the
What's,
PC.
Billy,
Billy's
I'm
already
asking-
horning in on the stand-up on me. Look at
That's all right. That's all right. Billy, I'm asking 300 for it.
He's got it on Facebook, Billy. If you're on
No,
Facebook,
it's all right. Yeah, 300, Billy.
Okay.
It's it's a good looking one.
I remember when you got it.
Yeah, I know. But also, I'm take this out of the packaging. I'm going to be putting this on in my display case on Saturday. Good old WWF pack.
Heck yes.
I know you want me to rip it, Jason. I know you really want me to rip it, and I feel like the
1 in
chat's
16.
going to really
Here we go.
entice me to rip it right
Don't
now.
rip it.
I'm not going to.
Did you guys know? Well, you probably didn't know, but I actually, for wrestling, I love wrestling, but I represented Scott Hall for a little while from the NWO.
Yeah.
Razor
Sure,
Ramon.
yeah, Scott Hall.
So he was
Razor
actually
Ramon.
a friend of mine. I met him through a signing that I did with Just Incredible in 2009,
Wow.
and a mutual friend they were looking to start up a website to sell his merch, autographs, and stuff like that. And crazily enough, this is a great story. If I can find the no.
Ruben, I already use brother a lot.
Here it is. So
Something.
I did a signing with him in 2009, Scott, and it's crazy because I paid $5 an autograph and I did like 50 pieces. And I ended up finding out that PJ, Just Incredible, kept all the money. He didn't even pay him anything. And so, well, I ended up, so I don't know. Let's see. It's
See if I
kind
can
of,
give you the
Yeah.
go for it.
so it's signed in red. It's actually, okay. Yeah. So it's signed in red there, Scott Hall. And then his signature
yo.
catchphrase is
Yeah.
"Hey yo" in black.
He will throw the toothpick in your face.
Yeah, and
Right.
so believe it or not, I actually owned his vignette jacket in the in his 1991 like Gaudi vignettes where he's in the Cadillac and he's got the white like whatever jacket.
Mhm.
And I had him sign it, first vignette worn, all this other stuff. I did a whole tribute thing when he passed away a couple years ago on my YouTube channel, and I have some clips of him giving me and Maggie a shout out and stuff like that. And it was sad passing. And he's a great wrestling mind. Obviously, he had a lot of, demons and stuff like that. But, him, Kevin Nash, X-Pac, all those guys, they were my boys.
That's
So,
awesome.
DDP,
You do another
DDP
show
got
on
him
that.
DDP got him. He got him. In
Yeah, gave him that extra 10 years.
Yeah.
And very thankful for that. So
Yeah,
That's like early 90s, right?
he was early to late 90s.
Yeah.
in his prime. You know, he went back to 85 because
He
he
had that
was
great
AWA.
match. He had that great match with Shawn Michaels,
Ladder match.
10, WrestleMania
Yeah.
10 in Madison Square Garden
Okay.
for the Intercontinental Championship.
He went all the way back to 85. He was tag team champs in the AWA with Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
In
He
AWA.
had some great
Before he was
matches
hurt.
in the AWA.
Yeah. What's that?
Yes.
He had
Yes.
some great matches in the AWA.
Yeah, absolutely. He was
Looked
big,
whole
big
different.
Scott Hall with the mustache. You know.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge wrestling guy. I was a mid '80s, early '80s guy. You know, the Hogan, Iron Sheik,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
JYD. You know, I remember watching it with my brother and my dad on Sunday mornings, and that was our thing.
All the way to I remember going to a friend's house watching, was it WrestleMania 3? I think it was in 87 or something like that,
Right.
with Andre Hulk. But the steal of the show was Mach and Steamboat.
Right.
That
right.
was the big that was the you couldn't almost top that. I
Right,
we got
right.
to Andre and Hulk, and it was like kind of slow and lethargic, especially looking back at it. But man, Steamboat and Mach rocked the house.
Yes. Macho Man was a local guy to my area. He grew up in Downers Grove. Was a really good, which is a suburb of Chicago. Really good baseball player. He was a really good baseball player.
Yes, he was. Yep.
Was a Reds prospect, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Right? Is
Yeah.
that right, Lenny? Wasn't he a Reds prospect?
Oh shoot! Was he
I think-
Reds?
I think you might be right. I thought he was.
I'm trying to think of like a Broder with him in it. I unfortunately I'm reverting back to like Elway with the Yankees.
Right,
Do you know
right,
that?
right.
Yeah. So, by the way, too, while we're just talking stuff, there was I actually unearthed a Bronco Nagurski rookie not too long ago.
Ooh.
That card actually came. This is a funny story. I'm just gonna tell you a story. So, that came from a guy that worked for TCMA in the early 80s. Okay. So I have it on camera, and I'll probably put that video on, YouTube at some point, but he got 12 cents a set to build minor league sets.
Sure.
And so that was like his job, like his high school job. His mom actually was the secretary for all the autograph things that TCMA did back then. So the Mantle Story 82, that's numbered out of 5,000.
Yep.
The Willie Mays, the Hank Aaron's, that all stuff came through there. So we did this big consignment. He had 5 Tony Gwynn minor league Hawaiian rookies. We sent those in, got a 9.5, got a 9, got a couple of 8s, whatever. We ended up Jay knows. We ended up, so then he referred me to a couple of other guys. This is funny stuff, because I always felt that in the 60s, 70s, and like even in the 80s, that guys they're doing cutting the sheets might have been tossing a couple of beers back. Well, when I went to go see his friends that you referred me to, one of the brothers came out and he had a latch case of Ricky Henderson 79 Ogden A's, right? Like your buddy Aaron had, right? So they were like literally 80-20 off-centered side to side. And I just went and I just go, oh my God, the guy that was doing this was drinking that day. And they both look at each other and go, that was Dave. He was like 4 beers deep when he was cutting the sheets. I was thinking it's true.
Well, I will tell you that it does back in that day, it didn't move a lot. So there was an electronic cutter, and you had to hit 2 buttons. And if you weren't paying attention, the pressure of the cutter, a bar would come down to keep it as straight as possible. But then once the blade comes down, when the cut stack that's this thick, they start to wing out.
Of course.
So the bottom of the lower end is going to start to come off center a little bit. So that's why centering doesn't, from a printing perspective, because I'm familiar with it, off center cards don't bother me. It's part of the process, so they really don't bother me. Now, obviously, I don't want it to be like 95.5, but other than that, I'm good.
How was that fireball, Billy?
It was good.
Did you sneak one in?
I'm actually going to be right back. Hold on one second.
You should have seen it, Jason. It was on camera.
Dang. Billy's the devil on my shoulder in Strongsville. So
I think I might pet his devil because he keeps talking to me about about moonshine.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's amazing stuff, man.
Yeah. The heck was that? Someone on a motorcycle?
A dirt bike going up the alley where I live.
Oh, jeez. But I tell you what, I think the Q&A chat works out well. Just people jumping in. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
I've had a good time.
Yeah.
So Anthony C says, do you guys think the young kids are going to appreciate all the vintage cards we all enjoy in the future? My nephews live the new stuff. That's a question I think about sometimes.
I think it's a progression, right? So I think I think it will take with some kids and will not with others. It's all about what you want to learn about the game, right? So the history of baseball was always important to me, and I just thought it was cool to hear the stories of the players my dad saw from the 50s. So that always was in the back of my head. Even when I was young, I just couldn't afford it. So
I think we got to show them too.
Yeah. I mean, they got to understand. They
got to teach them. Maybe give them a few cards. Not high grade cards. Few cards.
And just let them learn on their own. See if it takes with them. Hey, you got to learn about Hank Aaron. You got to learn about Roberto Clemente. But
YouTube will help too.
I agree. But there's so much new content out there, Billy. Like if his nephews are into the new stuff, that algorithm might not even take him to us old men. There's so much, Jeff Wilson stuff out there and rippers and breakers cut.
Jeff Wilson's an idiot. I'm sorry, but he is.
It's funny how the availability, today. So like back then it was so condensed. Like if you were collecting in the 80s, if you were looking at monetary value, you go to the price guide. It wasn't liquid.
Right.
Like I would bring cards to a shop and get killed.
Right.
Yeah, I was so depressed. Like, and I had no idea like what the terms were. Like, oh, these are overproduced. We can only pay this. We have so many. We're overstocked on this card. Or this card is the grade that you thought it was. Right. So if you get a banged up Mike Schmidt rookie and it booked $500 in the guide back then,
right.
And you only got $50 for it or $100 for it. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if I got ripped off or not, but with social media today, the kids today can, there is influence, right? So
yep.
it's influences. So it really comes down to, I think it comes down to the kids today doing what they're doing, getting involved, just like we did when we were kids. We couldn't afford the old stuff back then. Right. I couldn't afford a 69 Johnny Bench. I couldn't afford a 68 Tom Seaver in any condition because they booked 250 in the guide back then. Right. You
didn't even think about it.
In any condition, you're like, and the dealers are like, they didn't know either. I don't even think half the dealers knew what they had. Right. They were putting stuff out. Oh, it's 250. So you're getting 250 for a banged up Johnny Bench card.
Right.
So I just think that if they got involvement and they had fun, which I think a lot of kids are having fun, they will eventually go back to the older guys and collect those older guys.
I kind of feel the same way.
I think with channels like this that are out there, that people can go back to, if you put out good shows and you put out good videos, that's a reference point. They will find you at some point.
True.
I found Sammy.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know
Sammy and Jason. Do you think there were more younger kids at Strongsville this year or the year before?
This year.
This year, I think too. What did you think, Billy?
I think this year.
Yeah. I think so too.
I checked the crowd, see what's there. And I think I've seen more younger kids there this year than the year before.
I will say this. I believe there was one Pokemon dealer there, which blew my mind. They were in the far corner. And I was kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm like, well, how did this guy sneak through here? Or did he show him a 68 mantle and then walk in with a bunch of Pokemon? I'm like, how did this happen?
There was a kid who had a 52 tip top mantle.
Was he on the wall on the far
No,
wall?
he was in one of the middle aisles, closer to the back, where like JD's table was. But
Yeah.
he had one of those. He had like one of the. I don't know if it was his table or somebody just didn't show up, but it was a kid. I think he was younger, and he had a 52 tip top mantle. And I'm like, oh my god, that card never surfaces ever.
No.
And it was gone by the end. By the end.
Sammy, going back to like harder stuff and this and that.
Mhm.
Do you ever frequent the Albany show in New York?
Which one?
The Albany show.
I've heard nothing but good things about.
Okay, so there's a guy in Enfield that does the Albany show, and he does this part time, and he's got a national. I'll do a video this Saturday because I'm gonna see him in a couple days on Saturday because it's a show. He's got the original like home run derbies, Mickey Mantles, Eddie Matthews. He's got a 71, and it's in an older holder, and I came really close to pulling the trigger on it once. But he's got a 71 Topps Willie Mays Greatest Moments in an 8. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
know. Because the only person the only person I know from Enfield is the guy who runs the show, which is
that's
Cliff.
Alex. Well, Cliff and Alex, yeah.
Cliff and Alex, yeah.
Cliff and
I
Alex.
know Cliff.
So wait, he's got the home run derby cards. Are they graded?
I'll do a video just on his showcases, and it's insane. And I like listen, as a dealer, I heard him squabble with a guy. These guys are going back and forth, getting aggravated at each other, and I couldn't believe the percentages that they were working off of. Yes, there it is. I remember you getting that.
I can't swing that one, but I'd be interested in like the Killebrew or something like that.
Well, he's got in like in his bargain boxes, he's got like a $500 root beer Aaron with no tap.
Oh shit!
In his bargain box, like just so you could thumb through it. Like that's how crazy. But anyways, I heard him squabble over like a Mantle card, and the last one sold for $2,800. And the guy was, and maybe people could put their thoughts as far as like price points, but he offered $2,400. The guy was like, "No, I want $2,800." And the fact that he offered $2,400 at such a tight margin, and was willing to maybe he'll push it up to 28 or whatever. I was like, "You guys are both out of your mind." And the guy said, "No."
What was it? Do you know what mantle it was?
I'm not sure which mantle it was, but
if it's like a red heart, you can get like 28. You'll get it if it's like a red heart or
right.
Or a low end the dandy.
I get that you got to pay up on stuff that's like stupid rare. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'll ask him on Saturday. Like, hey, that 2,800, 2,400. Like, what was that card?
Yeah,
but I'll do a video of his. I'll scan his stuff. He's got killer stuff at a local show. I mean,
I'll send you some money via PayPal if I see something I like, and you can buy it off of him for me.
Hey, Jason, this is for you.
All right, sir. Billy, knock it back, my friend.
I appreciate that it's chilled and it's not warm.
I love the fact that he's drinking it like it's water.
I can't do warm.
I can't do warm either, man. That would be brutal.
Yeah,
it's got to be chilled.
Yeah, I feel that.
That is good stuff, man.
How many is that now, Billy? How many swigs?
7.
Take it easy, my friend. Take it easy.
Well, I'm sitting outside enjoying the night.
It's all good.
It's gotta be nice and quiet out there.
Hey,
not in this neighborhood.
Let me bring you back there.
Was that the Bash Brothers?
That's the Bash Brothers. That's honorable mentions number 7, 8, whatever you guys had those guys. I was watching the show. I was like, you guys are going like pre-war. I was like, okay, Ricky, Reggie, Raleigh.
Right.
Like,
I threw Sal Bando out there.
Dude, I love that. Wait, if you guys watch, have you guys seen the Swingin' A's on Netflix?
I have. I have.
That is like
No, I have
that's
not.
gold.
Yes.
That is gold. Because I was telling my buddy the other day, because he was like, he's this guy, he's going to sell me his signed baseball collection. He's kind of out of the thing, but he was looking at Raleigh Fingers. He couldn't believe the stuff that he had done, and I was like, do you realize that he was like in a Red Sox uniform for a couple of days? Because Charlie O sold him and Joe Rudy to the Red Sox for like no money, and then MLB pushed the deal back.
How many teams did he play for? He ended up playing for like 6 or 7 teams, didn't he?
He played for the Brewers, Raleigh Fingers.
No,
Brewers,
A's, Padres, Brewers. That was it.
Brewers, Padres, A's. That's it.
That's it.
I thought
he showed up on the Red Sox in the Red Sox, but he never played for them.
Okay.
He was there for a couple of days.
Yeah, I actually think I showed when I showed my Raleigh, I had one of each. I had a Padres, I had a Brewers, and I had obviously I had the A's cards.
But Sal Bando, I have a 67 signed Sal Bando with like a 3-time World Series champ, 4-time All-Star, whatever. But he was legit.
He was like the heart of that team. Everybody, obviously he's not a Hall of Famer, so you got to remember Reggie was young too. Right. So Bando, I think actually Neil said it. I think Bando was the captain. He was kind of like the man there at that point in time. So
correct me if I'm wrong though. How about was it the 71 All-Star game with Reggie off of Doc Ellis?
Yeah, 71.
Was that the home run?
Yeah.
71 All-Star game where it's a moon shot.
Yes.
That's sick.
Yeah.
All right. I got a trivia question for Lenny since he's a big Raleigh guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna challenge your Raleigh Raleigh skills here.
All right.
First Topps card where Raleigh Fingers has a mustache. I'm not talking about like Topps. I'm not talking about like Topps tests or anything like that. Just
okay. Yeah.
I think I know.
I'm gonna say 74.
All right, Jason, what's your guess?
72.
Billy, do you have a guess? Raleigh Fingers first mustache. What year? What Topps card did he have his? Did he show off his mustache?
Oh no, he didn't in 72.
71.
All right, you guys are close. Jason and Lenny are 1 year off. It's 73.
73, yeah. Because 72, he had the unibrow.
He had the unibrow, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just moved it from here to here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a trivia question for you.
I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna fail. Go ahead.
So I saw Raleigh Fingers in the bathroom of the White Plains show.
Oh God, I don't know.
How long was it? Oh, never mind.
Did he or did he not wash his hands after going to the bathroom? Number one.
All right. Okay. All right. You want me to? Yeah. This is like a 2-part.
No, he's saying after he took a leak, did he wash his hands? Number one.
All right. I will answer this by saying no, but he did go to the mirror and flex his stash and then walk out.
That's 100% correct. Ding, 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 ding. Because, and I will tell you this. After that, and I talked to my friends, I was like, I refer to him as Raleigh Dirty Fingers. but in Raleigh's defense, sometimes those bathrooms are awful.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to touch anything but myself.
We used to have at my company that I worked at, we had what we called the no wash list. So if you were in the bathroom and someone didn't wash, they hit the list. So we had a list of like 6 or 7 dudes. We knew, don't shake his hand, he doesn't wash.
Dude, 5 Taven sports cards, great. Nope.
All right, guys, I'm starting to crash a little bit, so I think
you got it.
I'm with you, brother.
We were on it.
Guys, thanks so much for jumping on. Billy,
yeah,
Thanks for letting me be on.
No problem. Listen, it was great.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you next time.
All right.
Yeah, later.